Joining us now with reaction, Washington Examiner correspondent Byron York. Byron, always great to see you. Your reaction to Kelly's report and how things are shaping up in Arizona, not necessarily, speculating on who will win here, but the problems that occurred in Maricopa County on Election Day, this issue of counting ballots, how long it's taking. It's something that Kari Lake has addressed, and she said if she becomes governor, she will try to change that to make the system more efficient. I mean, this was an election where a lot of people said, their confidence in elections was on the line, and yet all these problems, and it's Friday, and we're still waiting to figure out, what the balance of power is in the country.
Well, somebody needs to fix it. I think it's a real embarrassment what we're seeing in Arizona, where it's Friday night. They have 500,000 ballots they haven't counted yet, and also in Nevada, where we're still waiting to find out who won that race there. So this is something that, mail-in ballots are here to stay.
Yeah.
Lots of states use them, and states have to learn how to adapt to them. And at times, today, I believe the officials in Maricopa were a little apologetic, saying, look, we don't make the rules, that's the legislature. But at other times, they've been almost proud of their slowness, and it actually should be an embarrassment.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because coming into this election, as you mentioned, a lot of states expanding their early voting in person, expanding the time frame for which you could submit your mail-in ballots. And you had not only Democrat leaders, but also some of the pundits on the other cable news channels talking about the fact that they were really concerned, Byron, about voter suppression.
Well, obviously, we've just seen just a huge boost in turnout this midterm year. I mean, there was an extraordinary amount of voter interest in this. Remember, in Georgia, the president of the United States talked about Georgia enacting Jim Crow 2.0 or Jim Crow on steroids, and they just broke all of their midterm turnout records. So that has just absolutely fallen aside, and hopefully will not be much of a debate anymore. The real question is, how can elections officials, handle the crush of so many voters, which they did well in Florida and not so well in Arizona?
Let's talk about Arizona before we get to Nevada for a moment. Senate race, Kelly is leading Masters by a wider margin than we're seeing in the Nevada race. So the speculation here is that, these last votes could be counted, could change anything. But having said that, is that Arizona goes to the Democrats, possibly based on the numbers that we're seeing right now. Nevada would go to the Republicans. That puts us in one of these positions again where Georgia really matters. December 6th, obviously a lot of money already being poured into that runoff election. Your thoughts on how that will go, because it sort of feels like it's a replay of what we saw last time, but the candidates are different, the players are different. What do you think?
Well, in Arizona, the Blake Masters people still think they have a path, but it does not look good. It looks like Mark Kelly is going to keep his Democratic seat in Arizona. And Nevada is just so close. And if Catherine Cortez Masto, the Democrat, keeps her seat, then it's all over. Democrats win the Senate. Doesn't matter what happens in Georgia. But if Adam Laxalt stays ahead, then it does go to Georgia. I think one big difference we're going to see in the race between Herschel Walker and Senator Raphael Warnock is that the Libertarian, who was in the general election, took 2.1% of the vote, a lot of votes, is not going to be there. And Republicans a lot of times feel that the Libertarian votes end up going to Republicans. We don't know that for sure, but it could help. It could help Herschel Walker.
Speaking of Herschel Walker, we've got a soundbite I want you to react on the other side.
Right now, Senator Warnock has proven that he's another Georgia guy. He seemed to be like he's from Washington, D.C. or from New York or California, and he don't represent Georgia. I scored for Georgia before. I'm going to score again. And the way I'm going to do that is get him out of that seat come December the 6th.
And it's interesting because that was part of the claim against Dr. Oz, right? That he really didn't understand Pennsylvania well enough to represent that state in the Senate. And I'm wondering if you buy this argument from Walker that Warnock, he's not getting it.
Well, Herschel Walker spent a lot of time building a business in Texas, as a matter of fact. But he is so associated with Georgia, in Georgia's voters' minds, especially if they're of a certain age, because he helped the University of Georgia. He led them to a national championship in 1980. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1982. That's 40 years ago. It's a long time ago. But he is an absolute legend in Georgia because of that college football career.
Yeah, so all eyes will be on that. But first, let's try to just get through this weekend and get some answers that'll let us know how much Georgia will matter at that point. Byron, great to see you. Thanks so much.